Mental health. Don't lose your mind. Your mental health is more important than you think. Hi, friends. It's Adam, the crippled cannabis cowboy. Thanks for watching my video on how important your mental health is. As I learn new things, I'll share those things with you. Your mental health is no joke, friends. It's kind of more important, or it's one of the most important things, because I personally think your regular health is connected to where you are in your mental health. Now that I'm looking back on it, the amount of mental issues I had is kind of awing, and it's pretty much because I maybe kept them secret, or I wouldn't look at them and I would work on them, and they come back to haunt you. One thing I learned for myself is, personally, I think what made me sick was an abundance of mental health issues. I mean, I had crazy depression, I had crazy anxiety, I was in control of a lot of things, or at least I thought I was in control. I would bottle things up inside, and one day it just broke me. I'm very involved now in psychological therapy kind of stuff. I go to quite a few different kinds of group meetings, and I talk to a psychologist, and I've had a few of them now, and they all have been freaking wonderful. It's not like I thought, that's for sure. I remember having this conversation recently with someone, and I was curious. I'm like, how come because I get so much help from these group meetings, and I was wondering why they didn't participate in any group therapy sessions or psychology. And I remember them saying, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. I don't feel like going somewhere to talk about my problems. Well, that's the illusion that goes out there. Just to let everyone know, when you go to therapy and you go see a psychologist or a group meeting or pretty much anywhere, no one forces you to talk about your problems. That's actually not part of it. That is sort of almost like a reaction to feeling a certain way. And I've noticed from going to all these different kinds of meetings and seeing psychologists and therapists or whatever, and it's got a lot to do with vibe. If you feel comfortable to open up and talk about your problems, those people are there for that. But that's just like extra, you talking about your problems. Pretty much when I go, I listen. It helps me learn to listen. It's kind of like I listen to other people in the groups. When it comes to psychology, I listen to myself and what things happen to me. There's a lot of weird stuff that your mind does that we don't know about. We're starting to learn about these things, but 20, 30 years ago, we had no freaking idea. If you want to look into improving your mental health, all I could do is kind of talk about how I did. And I found this odd comfort in going to some of these meetings. Not all of them. You gotta feel the vibe and, feel your therapist and that kind of stuff. And if you don't connect with somebody, you're gonna know. Pretty much when I go to these events or whatever, these therapy sessions, it's to learn techniques to get a grip on my own brain. For example, sitting in quiet just for 5 minutes. Try it. Can you do it? That is something to look at. Can you tolerate no TV? Can you tolerate no phone? Do you know how to? This is actually recent, but can you visualize yourself getting better? Can you visualize certain things in your life, which is great, but can you make them a reality in some kind of way? Or like a start to pursue some kind of reality. I know I'm doing the best I can. That's the best you can hope for anyone else. There's a lot of techniques. You can look into breathing and meditation. That'll keep you busy for a really long time. Just breathing and meditation, there's so much information now. It's quite awing. People don't understand this, but even a simple step back to just breathe for 5 minutes, just regular, not even think about anything. It resets your body. It resets your heart rate, resets your brain function. It does a lot of things that we had no idea that it does. This is just me, but when you take a little kid and you cut their finger, or a little kid cuts their finger, that cut is gonna heal. Our bodies heal themselves somehow, provided they're in the right space and they're getting the right stuff. And if you think about that, that doesn't really match our lifestyles. Our lifestyles are based off convenience and entertainment. And I've learned for my own mental health, if I want my mental health to be better, I had to look at those things a lot differently. So a few things you could start with if you want to improve your mental health is just sit there for 5 minutes in the quiet without anything. Some people are like, yeah, I can't do that. I have kids, I have a job, man, what the fuck ever. Find 5 minutes to yourself. If you gotta do it before you go to sleep, fine, whatever. But everybody can find the time to work on themselves. We all spend so much of our time working on our families, on our jobs, to please this thing and do this thing, that we sort of forget about ourselves. And I just kind of want to put the shout out there that I'm someone that their mental health kind of broke. And when your mental health breaks, everything else is going to break too. And the more you look at those things, it's going to bring up your mental health again. So now that I am sick and I can't move around and I can't do all the hobbies and things I'd love to do, it's like new territory. I have to find my way or navigate my way through this dark phase, trying to find something that will help me out. Now, the fact that I'm doing that is helping my mental health, and it's helping me look into things, and it helps me do a lot, actually.